Some things in the wild are never meant to be found. Some places aren't mapped for a reason. I thought I understood that. I was wrong. What happened to me and the team I was with shouldn't be possible. But I lived through it. Or at least, I think I did. This wasn't a ghost story. It wasn't some urban legend passed down through whispers. This was real. And the worst part, they're still out there, watching, waiting. The whole thing started with Mercer, an old colleague of mine. Brilliant archaeologist, terrible decision maker. He called me up from an excavation site deep in the North African desert, breathless with excitement. "Victor, you need to see this. We found a cave, sealed shut for centuries, no record of it anywhere." Now I should have hung up right there. But curiosity is a terrible thing, and Mercer knew exactly how to bait me. "We need someone who can separate fact from fiction. You'll love this." And that was my first mistake. The cave was wrong from the start. Not just old, ancient, not just hidden, forgotten. The entrance had been deliberately sealed, massive slabs of stone stacked like a warning, not a doorway. Someone long ago had gone through a lot of trouble to make sure no one ever went inside. And yet there we were. I remember standing at the entrance, staring into the yawning blackness. A wind, not from outside but from within, sighed against my face, carrying something that smelled like dust, decay, and something else. Mercer turned to me with a grin. "Exciting, isn't it?" "No, Mercer. No, it was not. We weren't the first ones there." "Well, let me rephrase that. We weren't the only ones." The moment we stepped inside, the air changed. It was thick, oppressive, like stepping into a world that hadn't breathed in centuries. And then we saw them. Not statues, not carvings. Figures, dozens of them, lining the cavern walls, humanoid but not quite right. Their features were blurred, elongated, as if melted by time itself. Some faced forward, others turned toward us. Mercer's assistant whispered, "They look like they're watching." I scoffed. "Nonsense. They're just ancient carvings." Then one of them blinked. I don't scare easily. But when a statue blinks at you, even a seasoned skeptic like me has to reconsider his stance on reality. I turned back toward the entrance, ready to leave, but Mercer was already deeper inside, shining his flashlight across the walls. More of those figures stretched into the darkness, their faces shifting, their eyes reflecting light like something alive. Then Mercer's beam landed on the door, a massive stone slab covered in carvings. Unlike the others, this one had words, not Egyptian, not any language I recognized. But the meaning was unmistakable. "Do not open." And naturally Mercer opened it. The door wasn't a door. It was a prison. The moment Mercer pushed it aside, the temperature plummeted. The air itself seemed to scream. Every torch, every flashlight flickered. And then, for a moment, everything was dark. When the lights came back, Mercer was gone. And the figures on the walls, they had moved. I found him, or at least what was left of him. Mercer stood at the center of the chamber, eyes wide, mouth open in a silent scream. His skin had turned gray, his features distorted, just like the figures on the walls. He wasn't dead, but he wasn't Mercer anymore. And then, something stepped out of the darkness. It wasn't human. It was tall, impossibly thin, its form shifting like smoke, its eyes deep voids that seemed to pull the light into them. And then it spoke, not with words, but inside my mind. "One must stay." I didn't think. I ran. I don't remember how I got out, only that I did. I stumbled into the desert, gasping for breath, sand sticking to my sweat-drenched skin. The cave stood silent behind me, the entrance exactly as we had found it, as if it had never been opened at all. Only one thing had changed. Mercer was gone. No sign of him, no footprints, no body, just the wind whispering from the cave's entrance. One must stay. I tell myself Mercer is dead. It's easier than considering the other possibility, that he's still down there, that he's one of them now, that maybe he was always meant to be. I left the site that night. The cave was resealed, buried beneath tons of stone. No records, no reports. If I did my job right, no one will ever find it again. But sometimes, late at night, I hear it. A voice, a whisper, calling me back. If you ever find yourself deep in the desert and stumble upon a cave that shouldn't exist, do yourself a favor. Walk away, because some doors, once opened, can never be shut again. And if you hear something calling your name from the darkness, don't answer.